Yeah. We'll we'll take a look at basic suspension next week. And then I think after that we'll go into like dampers and things like that. So I know this is a bit rough around the edges, but really that's just there just to get you going, just to get you on the basics. We can go into so much detail and you just get lost with it in the end. Really, you're better off just sort of coming in and having an actual chat to get more out of it, I think. So, all right, Cam, let me know when you're ready, and I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, streams up and stuff. Hopefully, it just doesn't randomly stop like last week. Would be a good start. Yeah, up and running.
And what's your name again? It's like II Cam, isn't it?
I am Cam. There you go. Double I am Cam.
Yep. That's no worries. I've seen the message. Thanking me. Right, I'm going to shut this off. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Cam's stream should be coming up now.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions, feel free to ask me on PM or jump on the Apex forum, post in there. There's that free community area that we've put up as well for this season. So, you know, we're all happy just to give a bit of advice and whatnot in there. So, all right, Cam, it's up now. So
yep.
I'll be off, but I'll jump over to your channel. So.
Okay. Right, so we're just going to start at medium downforce because Phillip Island, although it's a no downforce circuit, no downforce, but baseline no downforce is too low downforce. But man, this thing pushes like a boat, so don't expect this set to be quick. We're probably going to find a decent amount of time from this just for changing some aero stuff. But let's see how we do. The only thing I've changed from the baseline medium downforce is literally just taking the fuel up from 50 down to 7.5. Anyways, this unfortunately one Zandvoort didn't go up on YouTube last week for people to look at, but this one should do, permitting there's no issues with Twitch like randomly stopping the broadcast and starting it 30 seconds later. So yeah, this one will go up. I'm just going to give basically a brief overview of the key parts of the setup. So the aero, yeah, so basically like the aero balance and stuff, which is pretty easy to come by here. Not really too much to change. A bit higher than Spa, just need it nice and balanced. Cambers and toes, which only minor changes to find a bit of time, I'm sure. Ah, bollocks. I'm an idiot. I forgot to change to the long gear. Anyways, we're just going to keep going with this and let's see see what we manage without the long gear in this one lap. But it pushes a lot, so it's not really a very good set. But yeah, that's one thing to always remember around Phillip Island. It is a long gear track. In the hot lap I done on default weather on the set I had that isn't obviously default. I think I did like a 26.7 on long gears, so normal, non-stupid gears.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
Let's see what I can manage with this. We're only going to do one lap on this because there's no point just going 2 laps with long gearing. You get the gist. This is the opening lap, so what have we managed to do? 27.1. Not too bad. Just the wrong gearing, unfortunately. So that didn't help. Anyways, let's get into this then. So with the setup, obviously medium downforce straight from the off. Not going to bother changing pressures at all. Still not figured out hot pressures and won't really go into that. I'm trying to figure out hot pressures, but no point doing that. Anyway, so I'm going to lower the rear wing. Going to put it at about 7. Front wing's going to stay the same. So that means the rear is probably going to be a bit more oversteering now. We've got lower rear wing because the downforce ratio, I believe. Brake bias is fine. We're going to change the front cambers up slightly to -1.8. And we're going to move the rear toes to 0 rather than having a +1 on the rear, because that also means you're slower in a straight line. And we definitely got to remember to move the 7th gear ratio from 24 to 2120, because that means you're obviously going to be quicker in a straight line. Going to move the cambers from -1.8 to -1.1, gives an extra bit of time, or so I believe. We'll see if it does help if we go quicker this lap, which hopefully we should, because although the medium downforce setup's good, it's probably not as good as making a few changes as per usual when we're usually able to find a good half second. But it's a lot with the lower rear wing. You can probably tell that I was working the wheel quite a lot. You can probably see the front end skating around a little bit. That's purely because it's a little bit loose from the rear. One thing it probably is worth mentioning, because of the shorter gearing actually, that's enabled us to get, other than the front straight, probably enabled us to get better sector time. So it might be worth totally wiping those sectors we've done, because short gearing isn't the way you want to go. So actually having short gearing was a mistake, which you want to ignore. Perfect. I might do another lap on the default medium downforce with longer gears, because that will actually give a true representation. So yeah, we'll do that in a sec, I think. I'm surprised we're not gaining more time. Oh, okay, maybe we are now. Okay. That was El Drifto through the turn 1 and 2, so that probably indicates we need either a lower rear wing or maybe a bit more downforce. I'll tell you what is the best thing to do. I'm going to start that again. The best thing is probably going to be to go on medium downforce from the start again with long gears and work without the aero, and then do the aero last. That's all because I forgot to change the 7th gear ratio. Note to self: remember to change the 7th gear. The 7th gear ratio before starting. There we go. Start again. Take the fuel out and put 7th gear ratio. Nailed it. What have I just done? Okay, so
New deliveries next week, finally.
Yeah, I mean, you do love the Neon Cat one.
Yeah.
I had a good 3 weeks with that, well, 2. Right, we're going to try longer gears this time, which will be slower probably, so we'll see. We'll do one lap, see what we manage. Hopefully won't mess up.
To validate what you were saying there, mate, as well, because you obviously are longer gears will be slower. People might just ask the question, why do I want to take longer gears? And of course, you're not going to overtake anyone, and you're going to be a sitting duck, and everyone's going to shoot straight past you. So, yeah, just so it makes some sense.
Because you're maxing out 3/4 of the way down the straight, which is useless. mean, if you want to choose short gears, go for it. But even in qualifying, it won't be worth it. That's for sure. Sorry, I'm not talking and driving. I've been struggling at talking and driving recently without crashing. Especially around Honda Corner and Siberia, which is these two corners. Okay, we lost a lot of time there, but we somehow managed to gain it back. Well, a little bit of it. Anyways. Really got to feather the throttle and brake around there to get a nice turn in. Try ride the curb on the inside because that pulls you around to gain you a lot of time. You want to be trying to go flat out around that left-hander there, which is possible. Be careful the rear doesn't want to step out away from you, so gonna manage. I think we're going to be managing a 27.3, which is going to do one lap there. It'll probably turn into a 0.2 if we did 2 laps. So yeah, a little bit slower on the longer gears, but that was probably purely as well around Siberia, and Honda actually losing a lot of time, just turning in a bit too much. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is do the cambers. Going to move them down to 1.8 on the front. On the rear, going to change the toes to +0 and move them up to -0.1. I think the spring rates can stay as they are because that's in the middle, that's in the middle. It'll give us a good balance between the overall grip and also the straight line speed. We've got nice rear rotation because the rear ride height's high, so obviously that means more rear rotation. I don't know the technical term. Is it more rake? I might just be speaking out my arse, which I probably am. So we're going to keep that around 32, and we're going to go out and see the difference we can feel. Again, the Aero is exactly the same now. We'll work on that in a bit. There's not really much to work on. I think we'll go down to 24 and 6 or 24 and 7, which will probably be the norm for this track without it being too oversteery. If we're able to go quicker on the out lap, then we know we've done something wrong on the flying lap. So if we get a nice exit here, which we do, that was a good couple of attempts gained just purely for you. Some okay driving. Keep it as close to the inside curb as we can. Kept our foot flat to the floor, so that gained us a good at least half a tenth, at least. It was just a lot more stable in the rear, for whatever reason. Maybe that camber changed, maybe not, but a similar line, a bit slower going into it, but we gained a lot of time coming out, so it felt good. That's what I'm talking about, that's a lot nicer. I could have gained some more time going into the corner, but I broke a bit too early. Whoops. Got a nice exit, nice and smooth. We'll do another lap after this. Didn't catch that perfect at all. Still up on our time, but that was with losing a good chunk. Probably not going to be up as much as we need to be. That was with losing quite a good chunk through 10 or 11, whatever one that is. Go for another lap, see what we manage.
You got about 5
Should have been a
laps of fuel.
26.9 then for sure, but see what we can do this time. A little bit quicker, but I was a little bit hesitant getting on the throttle because I thought it was going to understeer a little bit on exit, but it didn't. Totally messed up that corner. See, the thing is with Siberia and Honda, just miss the apex, you're losing a chunk of time, even if you're getting a good exit. Because you're getting a better run on the exit because you're getting more speed off the corner. You're going wider by mistake. Nailed it. I hope. Once again, Siberia let us down, but it's a better time than the last lap. Just in the 26s, so that's 3 temps gained on the default medium downforce set, just with a couple of clicks here or there, and the rear feels nice and stable, that's for sure. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do... that's a good question. What is the next thing we're going to... Okay, the next thing we're going to do is move the rear diff down, just did a couple of clicks to get a bit more rear rotation.
Cam, just
Hello.
Sorry, just to ask, clarify some questions that are being asked as well. So, which was just about cambers and how we go about. Obviously, because I talked last week about obviously feeling the cambers, you know, where they need to be on the front end. Now, I don't know if this car is the same as the McLaren, and it has like the curved front tires, so the middle's always going to be hotter and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I'm thinking these are a bit more flat, aren't they? And you actually can use Motec to set the cambers up a bit more accurate.
Oh, I haven't. Well, to be fair, I haven't actually used Motec with the car to do cambers or anything. But at Spa, it was a good example. Was I was using 3.0 on the front and 2.5 on the rear, which was like at the start of the week when. Start of Spa week, which was the total wrong way to go, because although the turn-in was really, really good, just through down the straights you were losing a good 1/10.5 just because the cambers were so severely sort of pointed inwards, I think. Is the way.
So, you know, obviously, it's always tough with a new car to explain what we're trying to get out of it when you say what you got to feel what the cambers need to be. So
yeah,
I know with the McLaren, for me, I want to be. I want to avoid the car sliding. That tends to be, you know, you've got too much camber if the car just sort of turns in, but then sort of scrubs up through the corner and then starts to bite and grip a bit later on. Is that the same with this? Does it do the same thing, or does it just turn? I mean, it's we obviously aren't going into corners so aggressively as we are with the McLaren.
It's probably, to be fair, I haven't really felt it as much, so it's not as severe, but I'm sure maybe if you looked at data and stuff, then you could probably see it. I suppose much more easier than you could feel it. But to be fair, from say I've ranged for the cambers from like on the front from 1.8, just a couple of clicks up to 2.0, you wouldn't really feel much of a difference, to be honest, at all. Just if it was sliding.
It really is just a personal thing.
Yeah,
so it's just about whether or not, you know, if you want a little bit more turning going into the corner, then, you know, you just crank up the camera a little bit. If you want a little bit less, if it's got a bit too much rotation, then you'll take a bit off.
Like the thing for Phillip Island, I think. Is worth noting, because obviously it's got quite a long straight down the front, which is obviously where a lot of overtaking is going to happen. if you want some more turning, it's probably best to do it not by making the cambers as extreme on the front, because you're going to lose some more straight line speed. Likewise on the rear, so just try being quite gentle with them, I suppose. Try make them straight as you can without, once you get the rotation some other way mechanically, like either via the rear ARBs and stuff, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a bit of extra aero or something like that working.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's different ways to do it. It's just what way you decide to do it. To be fair, I haven't even figured the best way on my final setups to do it just yet. It's
so new,
yeah.
isn't it? That's the thing.
There's not a way like
from everyone.
like for Zandvoort, I've got about 7 different setups, all I can hit at the same time with. It's just what one I can feel most comfortable with in a race trip. That's the thing, just making one change here or there, it doesn't find me time, it's just what I feel most comfortable with over a couple of laps, which is what I'll go with. Simple as that.
Cool. All right, I distracted you a little bit as well. So what have you just tweaked there, and what are you working on now?
Okay, so I think I changed the rear diff from 41 down to 27. I don't think I've done any with the pressures. I think rear cambers should be on -1.0 still, fronts on -1.8 with -1 toes. I just wanted a bit more rear rotation around Siberia and Honda corner.
Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
I moved the rear diff down. Yeah, that's what Alex and I were just saying. Cambers, I haven't found a sweet spot. I don't know if anyone has, but to be fair, it's probably more about personal preference than anything, you know. You could compare probably what I've got on this set compared to others. Maybe some have got as high as 2.5, maybe someone's got as low as 1.5, but we're all hitting the same times. You know, it just depends. Here I'd want to try be as nice to the cambers as I can, so I'm not burning up tyres too much. Not that they do burn up too much, but also because I want to hit the maximum speeds I can down the straight, so I don't get mugged on the straights if they're in draft, you know. Okay, so that extra bit of rear diff, that does help going around turn 2, that's for sure. Just helps get the extra mid rotation. Likewise Honda, Siberia even. Getting the good temp just in that corner alone. Not through being aggressive, through being smooth and allowing the rear to do the work. It's difficult to say through the penultimate corner if that really did help, because the line was very nice to get my car straightened up to get the maximum speed I could coming onto the front straight. But either way, it's every little bit of time gained helps, so it should be a comfortable 0.8. Yeah, 866. See if we can improve on this lap. Not guaranteed if we can, but overall it felt a nicer change. Just that little bit of diff makes a world of difference. That was a lot earlier on the throttle because I was more aggressive. Not just because we're on the second lap, just got picked up the throttle a lot earlier mid-corner. Almost gained a 10th in set to 1. Bit aggressive into Honda, so lost a bit of time. Little bit cautious into Siberia. So it basically equaled where we were. Siberia is just about confidence and also just making sure you hook up the line. It's a tough corner. Pulls that one up. Or did I? Messed up the entry a lot because I tapped the curb on the inside too much. If I go quicker this lap, there's definitely another half temp to gain just on the final sector alone, which I do go quicker with that big mess up through the final quarter, so that's definitely quicker. with that rear diff change. So I'm going to save that set so you can have a look at what I've done. Let's have a look, community, so let's just save it as that. Okay, I'm going to save that so you can have a look at the differences we've done. So, tyre pressures are a bit iffy all round. That's something you can try. So what we did there, we changed the rear diff. The reason why the diff ramp angles are as they are right now, because that also gives a bit more oversteer. I think that's default for medium downforce. We're not going to touch the dampers or the bump stiffness in this stream, because I can explain what I do. So the more rear bump stiffness means under acceleration you'll be pushing a little bit more. So if you want a bit more oversteer off the corner, maybe not always good, especially around Siberia, because you can overdo it a little bit. You want to make that lower, make that towards 0. And obviously on the front as well, if you have that higher, so more towards 2, for example, because that's the default 1.5. That also, well, that means you're going to be a bit more understeer under braking. I'm not actually finding too much understeer at all, so maybe it's worth moving that to the right, but we're not going to do that for this stream. That's just something if you wanted to try for yourself and see what you manage to find. That's basically it with all the basics and stuff. The cambers feel good. Anti-roll bar's fine as well. P4 stiff, there's quite, well, not the most oversteer you can get, but there's nothing wrong with it. It feels solid. Next thing we're going to do is the front wing. So that's 2511 gives us a front downforce ratio. It's 38.2. See if we could. Let's do 24 and 9 and see what we manage with that. Actually, no, we're going to go a bit more. Let's do 24 and 8 and see what we managed with that. So we haven't really changed too much. We've managed. Well, we changed the cambers. Yeah, we changed the cambers, we've changed the toe in on the rear from +1 to 0. I think on plus they might be -1 originally on the front, not sure. Haven't changed any of the spring rates because the spring rates basically felt fine how they were. Because they were on 140 on the front, which is in the middle, between giving us most mechanical grip, which is lower, and higher, which means more straight line speed. And on the rear, 140 is the lowest, 175 is highest. We got it on 158, so in the middle again, good balance. Yeah. But again, I'm not going to touch the bump stiffness and dampers. I'll tell you, next stream at Monza, that might be a bit worthwhile delving into a little bit, especially over the chicanes, which would probably be worthwhile doing that next stream. Just focusing on that, so we have a set sort of thing to do for the stream. But yeah, this one's just sort of a brief overview of sort of the basics of aero and cambers, I suppose, which is, yeah, what we've done. Anyway, already you can see we're going quicker and straight, even with this absolutely shoddy exit. Getting a decent amount of time already. Little bit overshot that, well, a little bit overshot. I'd say we absolutely destroyed that corner by losing over a tenth. This lap's been terrible. Thing is, you don't want to run the default medium downforce aero config because you're going to be a sitting duck basically. Although it's nicer to drive, yeah, it's not going to be worth it in the race. People will be running a low front wing and rear wing, that's for sure. 23.6, 23.7, 24.7, 24.8, probably something like that. I can't even remember what we're at. But what we're at now is probably a very nice balance because it's probably just on the stable side. Not getting too oversteering. I haven't obviously been able to hook up a lap, so I can't really say anything right now, but with the speed we're gaining in the straight, and if we manage to hook up the middle sector, then it's going to be
You have
worthwhile.
about 5 laps of fuel left.
But it's just a question of hooking up the middle sector. A little bit too far off the curb to have that drag us round. Losing a little bit of time. Still doing optimal. Not a very good line through Honda, took too much curb on the inside. Pick up the power nice and early because we're able to straighten the car. Hopefully we'll nail the final sector here. God damn it. Unfortunately didn't hook that one up nicely. But the setup is quicker, permitting you're able to nail the lap basically. Okay. How long have I been going for? Pete, you're just a noob, mate. Come on, give us a hand. Anyways, I think I've gone through basically all the basic stuff to do with cambers and stuff for this stream, so I'm not really sure there's much more to it other than the aero, which I've done, but I just couldn't improve in that lap, although it feels quicker. So I didn't actually do ride heights and stuff, but I can just keep that for next stream, I suppose, and just go through it a bit then. So
yeah, cool. Sounds good.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll just
No
close
other
up this
questions, to be honest. It was just a bit about camber. That was the only question.
Okay,
we had,
but
so...
it led us on to explaining something for the stream, so you know, it's worthwhile.
Yeah, that's what we need, more people jumping in on these. So we'll definitely get iRacing to put it on the back on the banner. So more questions about. We had to ban Peter while we're in here, of course, because he come in and give you some abuse.
He's a new, isn't he?
We got
I know, I just tabbed out as well. Anyways, guys, I'm going to put these on the forum now, on the Apex forum. Send a link. This will go up on my channel tomorrow at 6 UK time or 7 UK time, something like that. It's going to be, well, this has been about cambers and aero and stuff like that. Next week's going to be about ride heights and dampers at Monza. Going to try format them a little bit because that'll probably be helpful at Monza because obviously the chicanes and stuff. But anyways, yeah, hopefully this has helped, and we will see you in the next community stream. So yeah, as always, be sure to follow iRacing and stuff on Twitch, and yeah, leave a like on the video too. So yeah, we're done. See you guys next time.